It's July 15th, 2021, and time once again for Stefanie Drysdale's weekly cybersecurity recap number 80. Miss Stefanie, welcome back.
Hi, Chuck. How are you?
Well, I'm usually about 60% water, but after the monsoons this week in Arizona, I could be as much as 80%. Tell us what's happening in the cyber world.
So this week, Texas News Today shared an article titled KYC is Essential, especially within cryptocurrencies. It cited one of the obstacles to the formal acceptance of cryptocurrencies by governments around the world is that crypto is just such a favorable target for money laundering. So in 2019, about $3 billion was laundered through various crypto exchanges, many of which lack the KYC processes and the AML processes that deter some money launderers from traditional financial institutions. So one study found that more than half of all crypto exchanges have weak or non-existent KYC processes, meaning they're not being vetted or verified, allowing the laundered money to be used from anything from basic tax evasion to drugs, trafficking, and domestic and international terrorism. So in some cases, instead of implementing KYC guidelines, crypto exchanges are just restricting or refraining from doing business with U.S. customers. So in order for the cryptocurrency market to be best utilized and fully adopted, it needs to be subject to the same protections, taxes, and guidelines as traditional currency, perhaps just with a layer of protection and privacy between those who wish to transact, but vetted and logged through the exchange. The York News Times shared Fed's dark web operator sought to sell inside information. So it's a story about a fugitive sought by the FBI for creating a dark web marketplace to sell subscriptions for his insider trading information. So I sometimes hear people asking why companies monitor the dark web, and some even call it a waste and say that there's nothing that can be done, so why bother? Cases like this really highlight a trend where employees, insiders, etc., use their knowledge of the inner workings and vulnerabilities of a company or an organization to profit from those who wish to exploit it. So in addition to identifying the individual and ensuring that they face charges, it can definitely stop the behavior as well as shape ways that the org will try to prevent it in the future, both through policies and procedures and various measures. So definitely reach out if you have questions about dark web monitoring. Security Boulevard shared top 5 physical security considerations. I loved this article. Anytime someone says anything about security and convergence in the same sentence, you absolutely have my attention. So it talked about the siloing of IT and physical security and how it leaves businesses vulnerable to costly attacks. And I would add to physical, reputational, financial, and numerous other types of attacks. So first consideration was physical security at the perimeter with access points, components like locks, cameras, alarms, and the systems and data that control them. Second was secure interior spaces to protect the sensitive data. So with extra protection for important technologies, limiting access and privileges to those places, and with remote lockdown activation. So if for whatever reason things need to be shut down to be able to do that. Third was to employ cybersecurity for physical security with the usual multi-factor authentication, the strong passwords, and the vulnerability testing, but also ensuring that the IoT devices or the Internet of Things devices and other connected devices are segmented to keep them from affecting the sensitive data on the rest of the network. Fourth is think about your people working together to the same end, better collaboration, quick response times. And then finally, to use the flexibility of the cloud to allow to scale and remote access, just while ensuring that you have the newest technologies and skilled talent. And as long as you patch and constantly monitor and segment that, it's definitely a good step in the right direction. So be sure to catch that, and I'll link it for you guys below. So more stories about SIM swapping and criminals targeting their victims on dating apps. I won't go too deep into SIM swapping, as I think we're all too aware of how damaging that can be, granting full permission to your device as if you had unlocked it and just handed it over to a criminal. But one particular scam presented itself as just two people connecting via a dating app, exchanging small talk, discovering common interests. See the social engineering there. And in this particular case, cryptocurrency. Then after meeting, having a few drinks, the victim is drugged and his crypto wallet drained. The thief disappears. The crypto exchanges don't insure your wallet. The victim is left without much recourse. Again, cyber and physical worlds intersect and expose a vulnerability. Be careful about sharing too much info with a new person. Think twice about allowing them access to your home and your devices. And remember, if you're passed out, that fingerprint access can be used by anyone. Chris K shared the U.S. government's new website designed to be a resource for educating on, responding to, and avoiding becoming a victim of ransomware. So it's at CISA.gov/stop ransomware. I'll make sure to link that for you guys as well. Helpful stuff for really, growing problems. So be sure to catch that. And for only the very coolest of you, cyber pros, Prescient is hiring. We want the brightest, the most creative and curious talent to grow with us. So be sure to visit our careers page. I will link it and hope to see lots of you really cool kids showing up. And that's what I have for you all this week. I hope that you are doing well and staying healthy and enjoying this beautiful summertime. And I will look forward to seeing you all next Friday.